All right, hello Haley and Jalen. This is the second half of the Chapter 7 review. The order of events are today, finish review. Tomorrow, we're doing whiteboards. Thursday, you guys are taking the test. I am gone at a funeral on Thursday, but you guys are taking tests on Thursday. Be prepared for that, have everything ready to go. Make sure that you have your blue sheet. You will need him. You will need your blue sheet. I'll go through some review problems tomorrow when we do whiteboards to really just help bring everything full circle, and we'll be good to go. We are doing, okay, I can record whiteboards then for you, okay? Quiz bowl. I'll record whiteboards. Make sure you watch it. Make sure you're ready to go for tests, okay? All right, so starting with 10, we've got 10 through 16, and that's it. Okay, here we go. I have no idea if James has put anything on here. So if yours doesn't look like mine, please let me know, because I don't know what's all needs to be erased. All right, state the rule. This is tangent. This is the same as what we did on number 10 on the front side. Evidently there's two 10s. But this one was cosine. Whoa. This one's cosine and this one's tangent. You set up the formula exactly the same, but one difference. What's the difference between cosine and tangent?
Period.
The period. Instead of using 2 pi over b for the period, you use pi over b, right? Okay, so that changes things a little bit. All right, so tangent. I don't know if this helps you, but I like to do the whole blank thing, because that way I know I'm not forgetting anything. Blank t, you could call it x, I don't care. And then you need another blank, and then a fourth blank, okay? It does not say that this thing is flipped, but keep in mind that that could be a fifth thing that you have to add in there for the negative. All right, let's start putting numbers in. The two numbers that are the easiest to put in are the amplitude, which is 3, and
vertical shift,
down 5, which is
-5.
-5. Those two, don't screw that up. Okay, you at least get a half a point right there, right, by doing those two things. Okay, now period is pi over 2. How do you calculate period for tangent? We just said
Set it equal to pi over b.
Pi over b, and I want that to be equal to pi over 2.
Cross multiply.
Okay, so you cross multiply if you want to, right? Sure, why not?
Is equal to b pi.
Pi times 2 is 2 pi equals pi times b.
Period is 2. B is 2.
And divide by pi, so b is
2.
2, right? Or you could have just looked and figured that out, right? Pi over b equals pi over 2, so b has to be 2, right? All right, so 2 goes in this spot. A positive 2 goes in for that. All right, the last thing is that the phase shift is left pi over 4. How do you find phase shift? What's the formula that you use?
Negative c over b.
Yep, I'm going to do it up here. Negative c over b is equal to, what are we setting it equal to?
Pi over 4. Pi over 4.
Nope.
Negative pi over 4.
Negative pi over 4. Did you guys catch that?
Yep.
Left pi over 4. So keep in mind that that means it's negative. Negative pi over 4. All right, we know b. What's b?
2.
2. What would you like to do? Cross multiply? Okay. Now, I'm gonna do one thing real quick. A negative on this side and a negative on this side. Everything's positive, so I'm just gonna cancel those and pretend that those negatives aren't there. That just makes life easier, okay? Now cross multiply. So 2 pi is what one side is, and 4 times c is the other side. Okay? Then let's divide by 4. Okay, what's 2 pi divided by 4?
Pi over 2.
Pi over 2, right? If I reduce, okay, c will be equal to pi over 2. So that goes in this spot right here, pi over 2. But what goes in front of it? Plus pi over 2, okay? That is my formula for tangent. We're like unwinding it and putting it back, okay? So things that you will need to remember. Period, how to find it, is either 2 pi over b or pi over b, and negative c over b for phase shift. Got it? Okay? Keep that in mind. That's what he will look like. Got it? All right, and a flip, make sure that if you have a flip, he's negative, okay? All right, number 11 and 12 are asking for amplitude and period. One of them is tangent, the other one is cosine. So keep in mind, if you have a tangent, I'm gonna put a little star right here because period for tangent is not 2 pi. Amplitude, what's the amplitude for this guy? 7. It is never negative, okay? We'll see that one on the next one. And then period. Okay, this 2 right here is my b value. So when I'm trying to find period, I do pi over b for tangent, right? And if b is 2, the period now is pi over 2. That's all I have to do to simplify. Okay, questions about that? The period now is pi over 2. We're making it skinnier, right?
We got a bunch of different.
Number 12, amplitude period. This is for cosine. Okay, what's the amplitude?
6.
Only 6. Only 6. I didn't hear anybody say negative. I'm gonna count it wrong. I'm gonna count off points. Not the whole thing wrong, but I will take off points. I will be picky. Amplitude is never negative. Okay. All right. Period. Period for cosine is.
I did the first.
How do you calculate period for cosine?
Why you might?
2 pi over b. Now what is b here? 1/2. Okay. Now this is the tricky part because a lot of people are like, do we keep flip or do we multiply by 1/2? You keep flip him to the top, right? So we're going to multiply by 2 over 1. Okay, what is 2 pi times 2 over 1? 4 pi. So the new period is 4 pi. Okay, now that's right because when your b value is smaller, it makes it wider. True? Okay, a small b it's the inverse effect, right? A small b makes it wider. A big B makes them smaller, right? Okay, so amplitude period, that's all they were asking for. Now he is also flipped. You can put that down if you want to, but you don't necessarily have to. They were only asking for amplitude period. But that negative is there as well. Okay, got it? Good? Happy with that? Okay, all right, describe the graph. What does that even mean?
Tall, dark, and handsome.
Yeah, let's just do the 4, okay? So the first one is amplitude. The second one is period. The third one is phase shift, horizontal shift, and vertical shift. Okay, so amplitude, period, phase shift, vertical shift. I do the first one and the last one. Okay, so what's the amplitude? 3. What's the vertical shift? Let's say up 6. Up 6. So those are done. The 3 is done, the 6 is done. Got it. Cross them off if you want to. Okay, period. We're doing cosine. So
2 pi over b.
2 pi over b. What is b?
4.
4. 2 pi over 4. So that reduces to
Pi over 2.
pi over 2. So the period is pi over 2. Got it. Okay. For phase shift,
Negative C over B.
negative c over b. What is c in this case?
8.
8? Negative 8, actually, pi. So this would be negative 8 pi over b, which is
Pi over 2.
4. So that was going to be not pi over 2. You're close.
Oh.
8 is on top, so 8 pi over 4 is going to be 2 pi, right? 2 pi. Okay, 2 pi how?
Right.
Right. It is to the right 2 pi. Okay, because it's positive now, right? If it was negative up in the equation, that means to the right, correct? Okay, and we can see that by it turning positive here, right? Okay, questions about that? Is he flipped? No, but make sure you add that if you need to. Okay, 14 is the same thing. Describe the graph. So we need the 4 things. Amplitude, period, phase shift, vertical shift. Okay, and one other thing.
Flip.
Flip. So make sure you add that. If you forget the flip in the describe the graph part, that's a point right there. So flip. He is flipped over. Okay. All right. Am I going too fast? I feel like we're busting right through these.
Keep talking.
All right. Amplitude. What's amplitude?
4.
Only 4,
Flip.
right? Only 4. Okay. Let's do vertical shift. He is
Down 3.
down 3. Okay. So we have addressed the negative. We've addressed the 4. We've addressed the minus 3.
Tangent.
Okay. Tangent. To find period for tangent, we do pi over b, because tangent is just pi, okay? What is the b value?
1. Pi over 3.
1/3, right? If I take the t off, that would be 1/3, all right?
Yeah.
So I put 1/3 here. Now, pi divided by 1/3, how do I calculate that thing? Flip it to the top. So it's going to be times 3 over 1. What's pi times 3 over 1?
3 pi.
3 pi. So the new period is 3 pi. Got it? Okay. For phase shift, we do negative c over b. What's c?
Pi.
Yeah,
Negative
pi.
pi.
So negative pi. So it'd be negative pi, which is going to turn positive. Over b, what'd you say b was? 1/3. Okay. Flip him to the top. So 3 over 1 times pi is, that's weird,
3
3 pi. So the phase shift is 3 pi. How so? To the
right.
right.
Right, yeah.
To the right, because now it's a positive 3 pi. If it was a negative here, then that means to the right, correct? Okay.
Yep.
I put down, but I didn't put down 3. So fix that if you didn't put down 3. Okay. That's the describe stuff. That's the describe stuff. Okay? Good? Happy with that? Okay, sketch at least one cycle. When you're doing this, I list out my amplitude, period, phase shift, vertical shift. I don't know what helps you the best, but that helps me the best. Now, we only have 3 numbers going on here. 1, 2, 3, right there. Which one is missing? A, B, C, or D?
C.
Yeah.
Which one's missing? C. C is missing, right? A lot of people look at this and they say C is -3 and you're missing the up and down, right? The up and down is the 3, right? How do I know that?
With your brain.
The parentheses are like there, right? The parentheses are not around the 3, so it's missing a C value. So when I do my amplitude, period, phase shift, vertical shift, I will have no phase shift, which makes it nice because that's the hardest one to graph, right? Aha. All right, let's fill in. What's your amplitude? 2. Vertical shift? Down 3. Perfect. Okay. All right, period is, how do you find period? 2 pi over b. What's b in this case? 1/2, right? That's this guy right here. All right. 2 pi divided by 1/2. If I flip it to the top, it's like times 2 over 1, which makes the period
4 pi.
4 pi. All right, let's see what we can do. What would you like to label first?
Amp. The amplitude.
Okay, amplitude. So the amplitude is 2. Actually, I'm going to do, so if you have an amplitude of 2, but you have a vertical shift, do the vertical shift first.
Okay.
Okay, so he's down 3. 1, 2, 3. That's where he's going to start. That's his middle line. If you like to do a dotted thing, go for it. Okay, from that 3, he's going to go up 2, which goes to -1, and down 2, which goes to what? -5. Those are going to be my like little other 2 lines, right? Okay, so if it helps you, go ahead and do that. Okay. All right, on the other side, on the x-axis, I have 0 here. Okay, where's he going to end over here?
4 pi.
4 pi, because that's where the period is. Okay, so that means the middle here is 2 pi. And then I'm going to put a little tick mark here and a tick mark here. You can label them if you want to. I would say at least label the start, end, and middle. Okay, if you don't want to label the other 2, you don't have to, but this would be at 1 pi and this would be at 3 pi if you want to label them. Okay, at least label the start, middle, end. Okay, all right, so there we go. So he's going to start here and he's going to end here. Okay, and are we doing sine or cosine? And not flipped, right? All right, so where is, like, he starts in the middle. So where is the middle technically?
-3.
At -3 right here, this dot. I'm going to do him in green since I've already used yellow. Green, and then where do we go from there? Middle, up. Yeah, you're right. Middle, up, then middle, down, middle, right? That's what sine looks like. Okay, it really helps to do those little dots. Is that good? Is that what he looks like? Yeah, I think so. I think that looks great. That looks awesome.
It's like a big ol', yeah.
It's like a big old it's like a stretched out wider curve. Right?
Really?
Yeah, it is. I was terribly excited the other day. Jayton had her phone sitting like on the table or something. You should show them what it looks like. Do you guys have this on your phone? I'm sure the rest of you probably do.
TikTok?
So Jayton on her phone has like on one of the screens, and she was like, "No, that's not what it is." So she's got like her sun, whatever, like where the sun is at, or no? Is it the sun or the moon?
Yeah, it's the sun.
It's the sun. Okay, let me see it.
Oh, it's a widget?
Whatever it is.
It's the little warning in the morning.
It's the sun. It's where the sun is. Like the sun is rising and the sun is setting. Do you see it right here?
Oh.
Hey, check it out. You know what's happening? That is that sine or cosine?
That is sine.
That is,
No, that's
actually it looks like cosine because it's starting down here at the bottom. It would be like negative cosine according to this right now. But look at that. Ah, that is the graph of the sun according to a sine curve, right? So like this line must be like setting, right? Like sun setting. So like when it's underneath of the curve, when it's in the bottom half, that's like in darkness, and then up here we're in, so it's still rising in the sky as soon as it gets to the top. Then it starts to set in the sky, right? Like the sun starts setting at like,
How does this work?
no, the sun technically starts setting at like noon.
7:45.
Or like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the sun is now in descent mode. right? Does that make sense? Like that's what the curve looks like. So I was terribly excited about that. Anyway,
Excited.
it's what it is. That's exactly what we're doing right now. The sun is rising, sun is setting. Very cool. Okay, is this the last one?
Yep.
Jeez, I should have given you more to do.
I have a question.
Fine. All right, tangent. All right, so I'm still gonna list out amplitude. I'm gonna list out period. I'm gonna list out phase shift. I'm gonna list out vertical shift.
There's nothing. It's only
Okay.
half in period.
Amplitude is 1/2. What are we missing? A, B, C, or D?
C and
We
D.
have no C, we have no D, which means phase shift, vertical shift, done. Like we just have to do those two. Okay? The period. How do you find period for tangent?
Pi over B.
Pi over B. Okay? Pi over B.
B is 1.
B is 1/4. So how do I take pi and divide by 1/4?
Times 4 over 1.
I'm gonna multiply by 4 over 1. So pi times 4 over 1 is 4 pi. Okay. Tangent splits the middle.
That's it.
Shh, stop. Tangent splits the middle. So right here, he has a vertical asymptote on the left, and he has a vertical asymptote on the right. Where will those be at?
3 pi and 1.
No.
Dang.
Where will the vertical asymptotes be at? How wide is he? Yeah. How wide is he? 4 pi. If he's going to split the middle, that means how much goes on the left?
2.
2 pi here and
2
2 pi here. So we've got negative 2 pi on this side and a positive 2 pi on that side. Do you see how we come up with that? 2 pi, 2 pi, okay? All right, now the other thing that we have to address is the amplitude, okay? How do you do amplitude for tangent? Like, how does that even work?
How far it goes. Like where the dot is in the middle.
At the middle point. So like this middle point would be at 1 pi and this middle point would be at negative 1 pi. Normally he's up here at a value of 1 and he's down here at a value of negative 1. But since he's 1/2, he's going to be a dot like that. So he, instead of being like this, he's going to be more curved. You see that? More of an L and less of a C or whatever it is, right? Okay? He's going to be a little curvier. So 1/2, 1/2. That is the difference. Make sense? That's what tangent looks like. Good?
I suppose.
Yeah? That's what one cycle is. They say at least one cycle. You can go crazy if you want to and do another cycle if you want to. But there's that. What if that was a negative tangent, by the way? Go the other direction, right? He'll flip down. Okay? That's fine. Yes, yes, by all means. Put your vertical asymptotes in there if you would, please. Like put your dotted lines. Okay? Any other questions? Did you get through that? You guys rocked this today. This was awesome. Like, are we feeling okay about this?
Not really.
Okay. All right. We'll do some whiteboards tomorrow. I'll get you some more. Like, I feel like you guys are better at graphing than you are at, like, answering the dumb questions on the front side.
I bet you you're right.
I bet you you're probably right. Yeah.
Can we skip that part?
So maybe tomorrow we hit that a little harder. Like 4, 5, and 6, those
Do you
questions.
think we'll be allowed to use our review still?
Yeah. I'm going to let you use your review. Okay?
5 and 6.
Can I do
I
that
don't really
one?
know if I did those right.
Short. Let me stop the video real quick. Goodbye.